Now let's learn about royal icing and make our royal icing. So for this recipe, we're going to need powdered sugar, meringue powder, corn syrup, preferably light corn syrup, and this one that I'm using today has vanilla flavoring, but make sure that as long as it's light corn syrup, it's gonna work. We're also going to need water and clear vanilla extract. Let's get started. So into my mixing bowl, I'm adding in my 2 pounds of powdered sugar, and please note that you can definitely make half of this recipe. I just like to make the entire recipe and just keep it on hand for whenever I'm decorating cookies. Next, I'm adding in my clear vanilla extract. For this part, you can definitely add in any clear flavoring that you would like. I definitely recommend using clear flavoring because if you use regular vanilla, it will alter the color of your royal icing. Whereas if you're trying to outline or flood your cookie in just pure white, you're not going to get that color due to the tint of the flavoring. Next, I'm adding in my 5 tablespoons of meringue powder, and you can usually find this meringue powder at your local craft store and sometimes at your local grocery store, but most likely you'll probably be able to find it on Amazon or online depending on where you live and what kind of stores are near your area. Next, I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup, and the corn syrup is going to give us a little bit more working time whenever we are ready to decorate our cookies, because we are adding in the light corn syrup also to make our royal icing a little bit more elastic, shinier, and like I mentioned, it's going to give us a little bit more working time because it is going to take that royal icing a little bit longer to dry when you use corn syrup, but the result with and without it is a total game changer. I'm adding in my 2/3 cup of water. And with a paddle attachment, I'm going to mix this first on low. So I'm basically just trying to avoid the powdered sugar cloud, or you can also place a small towel, or if you have a covering for your mixer around it to prevent the powdered sugar from frying everywhere. So I'm going to start it on low, and I'm going to start to slowly increase the speed until I reach medium speed. For this step, we are going to mix between 5 to 7 minutes. So we're looking for our meringue powder and our sugar along with all the other ingredients to react. And what we want is to first form a paste, and then from there, as the meringue powder starts to whip up, our royal icing should start to come together, and you're also going to see that it doubles in size. It starts to form peaks, and it also becomes more of a pure white. It's important to use a paddle attachment for this step. I have used a whisk attachment before, but I do get a result of a lot more air bubbles in my royal icing. It still works pretty well. But if you're a beginner and you want to avoid the bubbles and all the air that gets into the royal icing when mixing, I highly recommend using a paddle attachment. After 7 minutes, I'm going to stop my mixer. This is how my royal icing looks. So you're wanting to get a consistency where you don't see a lot of air bubbles, but your royal icing will also be a little bit tougher or harder. This is the hard consistency royal icing. To prevent your royal icing from getting hard or forming a crust or drying out, I highly recommend using a bowl that has a lid, or you can also use a wet towel and just place it on top of your royal icing bowl to prevent it from drying out while you're working with it. And now that we've made our royal icing, let's head on over to learn more about the consistencies.